Years ago, I read Good to Great from Jim Collins. It's a great business book, one of my favorites. And he talks about confronting the brutal facts. So I went and read that chapter again today, confronting the brutal facts. And it was interesting because what he's saying was the companies who moved from a good to great standing that they studied in the book, they had this ability to not be, it wasn't like they were just optimistic and Pollyanna and everything's going to be okay. They had this ability to confront what was staring them in the face, what was a brutal fact, and then make appropriate responses or corrections to or deal with what they were staring at. And then he went on, and at the end of the chapter, he talks about Jim Stockdale, right, from the Stockdale paradox. So Jim Stockdale was a prisoner of war in the Vietnam War. And he was tortured 20 times within 8 years in this prisoner of war camp. And Jim Collins, the author of the book, talked to him, years later. When he was writing this book, he actually interviewed him. And one of the things he had said, like, what was the difference about the people who died versus the people that made it out of the prisoner of war camp? And Jim Stockdale, the prisoner of war, had said, oh, that's easy. The people who never made it out were the ones who were the optimists. The optimists never made it out. Because the optimists said to themselves, oh, we're going to be out of here by Christmas. And then Christmas came and went, and they said, oh, well, now we're going to be out of here by Easter. Easter came and went, and they're like, we'll be out of here by Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving came and went. And Jim Stockdale said those people, the optimists, died of a broken heart. Like, ultimately, they couldn't be with, they couldn't respond to their current circumstance. And so for whatever reason, I don't know if that's I'm sure that's figuratively, they died of a broken heart, but I'm sure somewhere they gave up. Maybe they committed suicide. Maybe they didn't dig deep enough in that environment to try to make it out, right? But it was interesting because as I read that today, it made me realize that optimism and pessimism are two sides of the same coin. Right? There are people who are optimistic and Pollyanna, like, oh, the coronavirus, it's not a big deal. It's okay. Let's all kiss each other. Right? That's not the answer. We're not saying like it's not a problem. That's not a good response. But everybody else who's buying toilet paper in droves and panicking and freaking out, that's pessimism. That's also not the answer. That is not confronting the brutal facts.